In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
Is a ketogenic diet high protein or high fat? Shifting your body from being a sugar burner to fat burner requires you to eliminate any major source of glucose, sugar, in your diet. The obvious first step is eliminating sugar, duh, but also greatly reducing your intake of carbohydrates, which can turn to sugar in the body. Additionally, because excess protein consumption can form added glucose through a natural process in the liver known as gluconeogenesis, moderating down on protein is necessary too. Therefore, a well-formulated ketogenic diet is one that is defined as very low in carbohydrates, moderate in protein, and very high in fat. This works out to about 70 to 80% fat, 10 to 20% protein, and 5 to 10% carbohydrates of the total energy consumed daily.
Simplified short-form keto videos found exclusively at ketowhiteboard.info. Watch it, share it, live.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website, and we have 3 ways you can listen. You can listen live on Instagram, so go follow me there at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like all these people coming in right now. Welcome in, guys. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay on Instagram for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you got to go to YouTube, type in keyword Jimmy Rants. You will find all the past episodes. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form, the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants is all about what everybody's been asking me about. You still doing that carnivore thing? Yes, I am still doing the Keto Carnivore. So I thought I would give you guys an update since it's been right at 10 weeks since I started on doing a ketogenic version of carnivore. And it's so funny, when I first started doing this, people are like, well, what's a keto carnivore? So a traditional carnivore diet tends to come in at around 65% fat and about 35% protein, which I know from past experiments is probably way too high in protein for me. So doing a keto carnivore means upping the fat grams just a bit while you lower the protein, and you balance out the calories that way to get a higher fat percentile. And I tend to do pretty well at somewhere around 75 to 80% fat in my carnivore diet. So carnivore, if you're just doing pure carnivore, it's just eat meat. And most of the carnivore advocates would say eat fattier meats. Don't eat a bunch of chicken breasts, which I've talked about why that's a very bad idea before. So 10 weeks in, you guys, a lot of people, are you still losing weight? So I did, for the 4-week experiment in January, I did weigh myself, just as an FYI for you guys. But honestly, can I just be dead honest with you? I don't really give a rip what the weight is doing. Because if I'm getting healthier through this nutritional modality, then it's very obvious I will lose weight. So I don't really care what the actual weight total is. And you got to be okay with that, even for your own self. People will ask, how much weight have you lost? It's not relevant. In fact, the other day, I got called by a major magazine. They wanted to interview me about some aspect of keto, and it was the egg fast that I had created somewhere around 2008, 2009 was when I created this. It was kind of a precursor to where my brain started going towards ketogenic. And they asked me, so if people go on an egg fast, how much weight could they lose in 5 days if they did this? I'm like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And same with this Keto Carnivore. It doesn't matter. How much weight have I lost? It doesn't matter. What I can tell you, and a lot of you have commented on these Jimmy Rants videos, you can see I've lost weight in my face. I can tell in the shirts that I'm wearing how baggy they're getting, that I've lost weight. So I don't need to step on the lying liar that lies to tell me and validate me how much weight I'm losing. So again, you got to be okay with that, because I'm not going to obsessively step on a scale where it really doesn't tell me the whole story. So if you're just joining us, I am giving an update. It's been 10 weeks since I started eating Keto Carnivore. And so in those 10 weeks, you might be wondering what's going on. So I will tell you I've lost over 25 pounds. As of the last time I checked, it was right around 28 pounds lost now since starting this. But again, that is the least relevant of what's going on with this Keto Carnivore thing. To me, the clearer skin is a huge thing. So I'm 47 years old and I still can get breakouts all around the T section of my face. So for me, getting rid of that and having more clear, vibrant skin has been a huge benefit of this Keto Carnivore. And it stands to reason whenever you lower, ostensibly, blood sugar, inflammation, and insulin levels, all of those things that manifest as skin blemishes start to go away and start to get it better. I have skin tags on my body because I'm an insulin resistant man, lots of them. And I've noticed that various aspects of my body that had these skin tags, it's starting to shrivel up. And so I noticed one like right here just a few days ago, and I felt down. It was kind of, it's going to be gross, but it was kind of crusty. So I started pulling on it and it just pulled right off. Pulled off the skin tag. Didn't hurt. It just came off and now it's smooth right there. I still have skin tags on other parts of my body, and a skin tag is a telltale sign. If you have those little skin tag things, it's a telltale sign that you have insulin resistance. And so the removal of those coming off the body very naturally, is a clear sign that insulin resistance is healing. So Keto Carnivore is doing that for me. So what else? So I'm still able to go long periods of time without eating. I don't really think about food that much when it comes time for me to have my meal. And most of the time I'm eating one meal a day. Sometimes 2 meals, but most of the time 1 meal a day. And it's very natural for me to do that, and it's a sizable meal, so people freak out. I remember a few weeks ago I was in West Virginia while we were traveling. We were doing a speaking event for Real Food Keto, and I went to a restaurant, had not eaten all day long that day, so it had no meals at all. And I ordered on their menu 6 burgers with bacon and cheese. And of course it wasn't humongous burgers, but it ended up being about 2 pounds worth of meat, beef. And so I posted that on social media and some people lost their minds. I'm like, people, get a grip. It's all I had all day. But I don't think about food because it's a means to an end at this point. It's okay, let's get to the fueling time. Let me have that meal. And then I'm good to go for another 20, 25, 30 hours. So it's pretty darn cool to have that freedom that comes from not having to obsess about the food all the time. One question that has come up in doing this is people are like, well, how's it going if you have to go out to eat to get food? So most places have been pretty accommodating. I did recently, I went to the Nutritional Therapy Association conference in Portland, and there were a couple of places there where it was extraordinarily difficult just to get a hamburger patty. That's all I wanted. Hamburger patty. If they had bacon, great. If they had cheddar cheese, great. So there was the hotel lobby I was in. I asked, can I get, maybe 4 hamburgers with bacon and cheese? And he, oh, you want fries with that? No. I just want the hamburger patty with bacon and cheese. I need 4 of those. Is there like a la carte that I can buy these things? And he goes and talks to the manager. Oh no, it's regular price. So it was $18 for the burger it was $3 for the bacon and $3 for the cheese. So a grand total of $24 for one of those, and I wanted 4 of them, and I was not about to spend $100 on 4 probably less than ideal burgers. So I did end up going on my phone and found this delivery service that made burgers, and I got the 4 burgers for somewhere around $32, something like that. 4 burgers with cheese and bacon. So you may have to work a little bit for it. Today we went out to a Mexican restaurant with some friends, and at the Mexican restaurant I got the fajitas, the steak and cheese fajitas. And I said, I don't want any vegetables. I don't want any mushrooms. I don't want any rice. I don't want any beans. I don't want any tortillas. I just want the steak, the vegetables. I did have a little bit of sour cream as well, since that's animal-based too. So is it challenging? Yes. But is it doable? You bet it is. So that's the update on that. All right, so how else am I doing? How do I feel? I feel fantastic. I have full energy every single day. And of course, you guys watch me on Jimmy Rants all the time. So you know when I come on here and I'm going, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. It is genuine energy because of this. And I haven't had any carbs since the very beginning of January. None. I'm not eating any carbohydrates in this. It's just mostly fat, 75 to 80%, and the rest protein, 20 to 25%. That's it. And so plenty of energy, no really cravings for anything. People are, do you crave vegetables? No, I do not crave vegetables. I know that sounds weird, but I don't crave vegetables. And speaking of vegetables, some people are like, well, your poop's probably all out of whack now. So it's kind of funny how people have these notions, if you don't eat vegetables, that somehow your digestion will get totally messed up. And honestly, you guys, I've seen just the opposite. I have seen my digestion working brilliantly. And when I wake up in the morning, gross alert, but here we go. I have snakes. And a snake is what you want when you're pooping. You don't want anything else other than snakes. So pretty darn cool in that aspect. I will tell you, I have added in some extra digestive enzymes. Christine was a little bit worried that I wasn't digesting the fats very well because it's basically all animal foods. And those fats tend to be a little more dense. She was just concerned I wouldn't be digesting them well. So I am taking some digestive enzymes that she gets as a nutritional therapy practitioner. It's certainly helping with that digestive process. What else is going on? And again, if you're just joining us, we are doing an update. 10 weeks in now, I've been doing Keto Carnivore because a lot of people, are you still doing that? Yes, I'm still doing it. I'm just not obsessively posting about it in the day-to-day. And can I tell you how freeing it is to just do it and not have to feel the need to post about it? Because in the month of January, I did 28 days where every single day I posted every picture of everything I ate, how many fat grams, how much protein, how many calories, and did a daily update and post and all of this information. But that was for your FYI. For me and my sanity, just doing it is a whole lot funner, a whole lot easier. And I think that's the goal. You want to get in a groove. And I'm fully in a groove now with this Keto Carnivore. I fully intend to do it for the rest of the year. I want to see how things go. And obviously I'm going completely away from all of my work September the 1st, taking a 6-month sabbatical September 1st through February 29th of next year. So I will very likely stick with this even through that sabbatical as well, so that we add on the benefits I'm getting from this along with the ostensibly stress reducing qualities that I will be getting from the sabbatical. So let's see what else is going on. So energy, still going through long periods of intermittent fasting, pretty easy if you can find places that will work with you when you're eating out. What else is going on? Oh, I will tell you, when I stopped religiously kind of posting obsessively every single day what I'm doing, I found the freedom allowed me to not, worry about if I got some grass-fed some mayonnaise or something like that of a quality source from like avocado oil, or if I was traveling and I had a little bit of hunger and I wanted to have a macadamia nut butter, not technically carnivore, but that's not really the point. The point is I'm not so stringent about it, but 99% of the time I am very stringent about it. So I've relaxed that a bit. So I'm not so obsessive about it that I teetotally get off of it. And I think there's a lesson in that as well. And again, when I'm at home like I am now, I am teetotally on board. When I'm traveling, if I have a little bit of peely nuts, so be it. That's the way it is. Or if I wanted to have some low-carb ketchup on the burger, so be it. That's what I'm going to do. Alternative sweets, by the way, is what we really like when we do use that. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on, you guys. I wanted to give you an update. 10 weeks in, I'm certainly more than open to answer any questions that you may have about how this has gone for me. Really haven't had any issues to speak of with this. Early on, I did have a little bit of getting used to it just being meat. But really, other than that, I haven't had really any issues to speak of. Mentally, I'm calm and everything there is really good. I stay sharp-witted all the time. So that's what you want. But I already had that with keto. So that's really not changing anything for the good or for the worse. So what questions do you have? I definitely am interested in seeing what you guys have to say. So welcome in. Just a quickie little update, you guys, just to let you know what's going on with the Keto Carnivore. Keto by George says, oh, goody. So I guess you've been waiting on me to update how things are going. C-Doc says, your waistline is decreasing too. Yeah, I have worn, I wear a new belt now. So when I started this, I had a certain belt and I was not all the way at the bottom of it, but I was getting close to the bottom of it. So now I'm into a new belt and I'm on either the second or third notch on the new belt. So I know I've lost weight in the midsection, and my clothes are fitting better. I tried on an older shirt today that I haven't worn in a little while, and it's on. It got on and buttoned up. It was tight, but it was on and buttoned up. So I'm probably about a month or so from being able to fit in that comfortably. So it's very obvious without me even stepping on a scale to know that my fat loss goal, one of the goals of doing this, is happening. So that's good. Keep up the good work doing Keto Carnivore with you. I'm 47 as well, says Mark. Yeah, it's so funny because we have this whole notion of vegetables being so good for us that we can't imagine not having any plant-based matter. Now, if you eat plant-based matter and you enjoy that and you get benefit from that, don't hear me saying that I think you're doing something wrong. You might be doing something very right for you. But I think this Keto Carnivore thing is the ticket for a lot of us, especially people like myself who are insulin resistant, who really never had a great desire to have a lot of vegetables anyway. Does that mean vegetables are harmful or bad in any way? I don't think so. I'm growing lots of beautiful vegetables in my greenhouse right now that I would love to be consuming, but I have a means to an end right now. And that means to an end is to see what impact just eating animal-based foods is doing. C-Doc says my skin tags are involuting. I like that word, involuting. Are you measuring your body for data purposes? Live and listen healthy, quite frankly, I don't feel the need to do that. Because again, it'll be very obvious if I am getting benefit from this. It'll be very obvious. You'll see it. So no, to answer your question, no. And I think part of the problem that we see these days is people so obsessed about numbers and changes. Sorry, my nose is itching suddenly all of a sudden. Pardon me that. All the changes and all of this stuff that I think it paralyzes them. Now, I'm not saying it would me if I did that. You guys know I love to track data. But I think sometimes there is such freedom, such benefit if you just let her rip. If you just go, live, do it, implement it, and then reap the benefits from it. So, no, I'm not. But, again, it'll be quite obvious for people that have seen me before I started this and then seen me as I progress through this. Do you feel a difference between keto and keto carnivore for muscle building? So, Borakua, thank you for that question. I have noticed that I have a desire, much more so now, doing keto carnivore, which, oh yeah, by the way, has allowed me to have more protein than just keto. So when I was keto, I would have about 35 grams of carbohydrate, total carbs. I would have probably about 80 to 100 grams of protein, and then the rest fat, probably somewhere around 150 to 175 grams fat-ish. Now, I am probably getting 130 grams of protein and then the rest fat, 180, 190 grams fat. So that's the difference. And I don't know if the increase in the protein is having this desire to want to lift heavy things. I will be getting back very soon to that regular routine of flipping a tire. I'm going to do a whole Jimmy Rants of me torturing myself, flipping a tire, so you guys will get to see that. But to your question, I have noticed that my strength, even as I've not been lifting as regularly, my gains have not lost doing this. And I think it's because the protein and the fat with the minimal, and in this case, zero carbohydrates, is maintaining that. The ketones in and of themselves are muscle preserving. So it's pretty darn cool. Shrinking waistline is a good indication of improving your insulin resistance. That's right, C-Doc. It sure is, which is one reason I'm kind of pursuing this for the fat loss purposes. I want to see what happens. Yo Mama Lift says, fajitas! Yes, when you go to a Mexican restaurant, super duper easy. Just eat the fajitas. If you're just plain keto, get the fajitas with the grilled onions and peppers and all that stuff, cheese, guacamole, all of that stuff. But if you're keto carnivore, it's a little harder. Today I had meat and cheese, and that was pretty much it. Ashton says, I've been keto carnivore, and I love it. C-Doc says, keto peeps have the best poops. We need a bumper sticker that says, I poop well, I eat keto. Or, wanna poop well? Go keto. Alberto says, fiber is the plant's skeleton, nothing miraculous about it. That's one way to look at it. Middle of a forest, passing gas is a rare thing on keto carnivore. # sweet smell of success. Yeah, I haven't had gas in years unless I accidentally get some sugar-free chocolates that have maltitol or something in it like that. But you're right. When you don't eat anything but animal-based foods, you don't have gas happen. It's pretty interesting. Lisa says, I love that the carnivore community isn't obsessive or strict. It's so refreshing. And yeah, a lot of the general carnivore people are pretty cool cats, and I've gotten to know several of them now. And there is this subset of people that are doing it like me in a more keto carnivore style, and they're getting the benefits of it because carnivore itself was not as optimal for them. So doing more ketogenic ratios has helped them. Kimberly says, congrats. You look amazing. Thank you. I want to look even more amazing in a year from now. And more than that, I want to feel amazing. I want to be healthier. I think that's all of our goal. We don't want to necessarily be stagnant in where we are right now. Unless where you are right now is your ideal and you feel good and you want to stay there, please be stagnant. But for the rest of us that have things to work on, fat loss wise, for me also fasting insulin, getting it down into the single digits. All of those things are goals that I'm pursuing. Was so surprised to see you doing lives today. I thought you are at Low Carb Denver. So middle of a force, no, I was not invited to speak at Low Carb Denver. And plus Christine and I have been traveling like crazy the last 6 weekends before this weekend. So we just got back from the Nutritional Therapy Association conference in Portland. We just got back on late Monday. So I would have had to have left Thursday to get to the Low Carb Denver. It was just too much travel, too fast. So I know my limitations, and if I wasn't invited to speak, it kind of made it easy to say no to that conference. Are all of your animal sources clean? Terry says. I try to choose the best sources there are, but obviously real life. There are times like today when I had that naked fajita with just basically the steak and the cheese. I very highly doubt that was grass-fed steak. So if that's what you mean by clean, then the answer is no. But most of the time I am trying to make those best choices that I can. Lisa says, one question I have is, can you post the recipe from that pimento cheese you were eating on Carnivore? I still think about it. So it's on dietdoctor.com, Lisa. So go on dietdoctor.com. Andreas Ienfeld is a friend of mine, and he runs that site. And if you type in pimento, you'll actually find that recipe pretty easy. CDoc says, keto is a personal journey. Everyone takes the best of quality foods and then makes it their own. Good job. And I think we can get elitist about this if we're demanding that everything is perfectly grass-fed, panda massaged, never outside of the realm. It's not realistic. And for me, I am trying to show people this is how you do it in the real world. Because last time I checked, we all live in the real world. Keto Max 65, are you back on your exercise protocol at pre-carnivore tire flipping? So I just mentioned that. So I'm working on getting back into that routine. I was just telling Christine yesterday that I need to get back to doing that and the infrared sauna and the ice baths. It's extremely hard with my schedule when I was traveling the last month and a half to get back into the routine. Now that we're home, now that I've recovered from the travel, I'm definitely getting back to that. And when I get in a groove with the flipping of the tire, I will definitely do a Jimmy Rants here to show you guys how I'm doing with that. Liz says, my first week of carnivore, I had an adjustment period with hunger and intermittent fasting, drove me a little bit batty. Did you have this issue at all? So I didn't just do carnivore. I did keto carnivore, and I think it helped me not have those issues. So carnivore, I would have probably had an adjustment period like you did, Liz, with the hunger, because it would have stoked, too much protein would have stoked that hunger. So what I found is being able to moderate down the protein to get it to about 20 to 25% of my calorie intake, and then the rest coming from fat, 75 to 80%. It's pretty spectacular for my body. So I'm glad you were able to tinker with it and get that adjustment and get it dialed in for you. I love the flippin' tire. Yeah, Yo Mama Lifts, you need to come down to Spartanburg and flip it with us. That'd be awesome. I noticed some more muscle building when I incorporated 1 cup of raw milk with 2 egg yolks. It did not kick me out of keto. Is that still carnivore? So raw milk, animal food. Egg yolk, animal food. Why would that not be carnivore? Good job, Alberto. That's good stuff. Do you think the body composition changes primarily driven by something having been eliminated on the diet or improving insulin sensitivity and other hormonal aspects? Mac, I think it's a lot of things. I've talked about this before. When I started eating keto carnivore, it does tend to eliminate any temptation that would come from some of those kind of packaged foods. Not that I was making it a major part of my diet, but when you eat keto carnivore, it kind of forces your hand that those things aren't on the table because they're not animal-based foods. So maybe that's part of it. One thing I think is I'm so sensitive to carbohydrate, period, from any source, that I think the benefits that I'm getting from doing this keto carnivore could be from carbohydrate elimination. And by eliminating the carbohydrates, I'm actually eating a little more protein. So I'm probably getting some benefits from that added protein to this. So if it gives me the wiggle room to have more protein doing keto carnivore than just a keto diet, then I think for me, that's proof positive that keto carnivore is going to be a lot better for me than doing just a traditional ketogenic diet. Now, will at some point I add back in vegetables? Probably, but I wonder when I do that, will it be a lot of them? I don't think so. I still have my doubts in the back of my head how I'm feeding my gut flora, so I will likely add those back in, but it'll be extremely small amounts. I'll probably treat plant matter as like a condiment. So it'll be a part of the plate, but it'll be such a small part of the plate, just enough to give me the benefits that I need from them. Just want to say thank you for all you do for us. Thank you, Alberto. I appreciate your faithfulness here on Jimmy Rants. Coming on here and engaging live. There's a lot of people that come and you guys watch. I see you come on, but you never say anything. So if you're brand new, maybe I'll do a whole Jimmy Rants where you're only allowed to talk and ask a question or to engage if you've never posted before. That would be a lot of fun. So guys, the bottom line of this Jimmy Rants is I am still doing well 10 weeks in doing keto carnivore. And so I'm going to keep doing this throughout the year 2019. I'm getting such benefit from this that it'd be silly for me to stop doing it. And so I'm going to keep doing it. I'll chime in every once in a while with an update like this just so you know what's going on, so you can see how I'm doing. But so far, so good with all the health markers. I'm going to continue to track those. I'm probably due to go get some more health markers soon. I don't want to obsess about it. Like I said earlier, you could really kind of become a data geek nerd and just go all out crazy. But those things cost money too. And I did that whole battery of tests before I started this, and then the 1 month after, that was over $400 out of my pocket. So it's a lot of money to do this kind of testing, but it's invaluable data, and I get that. But I'm doing this for me. You know, you guys are getting the benefit of me sharing, I guess, what's happening to me. But at the end of the day, this is for Jimmy Moore, and I don't feel like I have to do anything outside of what I want to do. And so I hope you're okay with that, because that's the way it's going to be. But if I'm able to share, obviously I will share, because I think that does benefit the collective when I do that. Hello, Kido Boomers. Thanks for being here. Hoboken says, just love listening to all you have to say. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Marla says, I've had to lower my carb count, almost carnivorous now. See, that's where I found myself, Marla, was when I switched over to keto carnivore. It wasn't really that much different than what I was already doing. I was probably 95% carnivore as it was, and it was that 5% of the vegetables and other plant matter that I cut out to do keto carnivore. Darn, I missed this one. Going to have to watch the replay. Well, Ute, thanks for being here. But yes, you did miss it. Sarah Jane, I feel so good without vegetables past 2 months that I'm not sure I will eat them again. Yeah, I think there probably is some value in at least a limited amount of vegetables. I know my Keto Talk co-host, Dr. Will Cole, wrote a book called Kido Terian. And in there, he makes the case that if you don't have insulin resistance issues, that maybe eating a mostly plant-based keto could be beneficial to you. I'm tempted to write a Keto Carnivore Terian or Carnitarian Keto Carnitarian. That doesn't roll off the tongue like Keto Terian, but you get the drift. To show the flip side of what he wrote in his book, because as much as I believe in what he's saying, I don't think that's going to be ideal necessarily for everyone. And so my book and my idea would be more to reach those people who have the insulin resistance who could benefit from a mostly animal-based type of diet, maybe maybe Keto Carnivore Clarity down the road. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Thanks for the update. Thank you, Mark. Grandma does keto, not getting my CBC until April. Been doing Keto Carnivore since January 1st, too. It's been great. Awesome. I went more carnivore the last 2 weeks, says George. Already noticing a difference. I'm very carb resistant, too. Carol St. Laurent, you're not supposed to write another book on your sabbatical. It won't be on my sabbatical, Carol. This will be when I get back. So I can plan for books when I get back. Are you chastising your friend on his own show? Kido Terian, do it. Yes. Do you think it's possible to do Keto Carnivore with an unfilled lapband? Hey, Jenny, I'm not going to give you medical advice. Definitely consult with your physician and your lapband surgeon about those kinds of things. But I don't see any harm in eating a real foods-based diet, which is what a Keto Carnivore does. I am with love, though, says Carol. Yes. You keep me straight, Carol. That's why I love you. That's it, you guys, for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage in the content live. So go follow me on Instagram. I do a couple of live videos, try to anyway, every single day on Instagram. At Livin' Low Carb Man is my moniker there. LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live in the content just like these people did here today. After the live is over, you can watch it for 24 hours on Instagram, so go follow me there. If you missed the live and the replay, shame on you. Go and follow me on YouTube. I do put all the past episodes up on YouTube. Type in a keyword, Jimmy Rants. You will find the show. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show in podcast form over on the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. JimmyRants.com is the website. Marla says, I'm wondering if the seatbelt is in case your rant gets out of control. See, people, they mock my seatbelt. I'm just in my car. Some people also say, why do you do your Jimmy Rants while you're driving? I'm like, do you really think I'm doing Jimmy Rants while I'm driving? Is there anything moving outside my window? I am stationary. I am not moving. And yes, it's going to be a bumpy ride, so we wear a seatbelt in case I fall out in the midst of a rant. Hoboke says, my husband and I have been carnivore for 30 days, and we love the simplicity. The simplicity is the biggest benefit that I've seen of doing this Keto Carnivore. How hard is it to cook up a few burgers, cook up a steak, maybe throw some cheese on there, a little bit of butter, bada bing, bada boom, you're good to go. And you only eat once, maybe twice a day. It's so simple. It's so easy. And I got a lot going on in my life that this makes, it redeems time for me. I'm able to get more done and be even more productive in my day because of the simplicity of this. And here's the other thing about the simplicity, and before I go, when it's simple, you'll do it. When it's simple, you'll continue to do it. When it's simple and you're getting benefits from that simplicity, what's going to make you stop? Only yourself. That's it. I'm eating steak with cheese right now. Alberto, I may go do that here in just a minute. So guys, until next time, we'll see you then.